Good afternoon. I don't know if you understand what I'm feeling right now because I actually cannot see anyone. The amount of light shining on me is quite unusual. Never had the opportunity. I want to thank the organizers for such a great event. There are a number of observations that I want to share with you before I actually go into my talk proper. First, never ever had an introduction like this before. And I want to thank you for that. Secondly, and I don't know whether you realize this, I have no degrees that was stated in my CV. And yet you are still sitting there listening to me. So for that, I thank you. Third is, I was very glad that I didn't use the word transformation because Rahul already stole that word from me. So instead, I was very glad that I chose the word disruption or innovation in my talk. So I hope you are braced for a journey where I'm going to try to challenge you in your thinking. And I do hope that you will take away some nuggets of information and do think very seriously about this. So I'm going to talk about disruption or innovation and what it means for us in education in the new normal of the cloud world. So let's start with disruption. There is a seismic shift that we are seeing in this world of today. Many things are changing very, very rapidly, and the generation that we are teaching, we are reaching, are right in the middle of this seismic change. They're exposed in this world in so many new ways. And we need to make sure we remember that very, very well. Oops. So, I took this slide from the Economic Intelligence Unit. And what it shows is that I think all of us, if you have not read a little bit about the fourth industry revolution, really need to take time to go and read that document or some kind of documentation around that. And what it says is that these are the sectors that's going to impact or be impacted by this fourth industrial revolution. Now, although education is one of the smallest amongst these five, in my opinion, it is the most important. And we need to be watchful over how we think about it. This is what's going to happen to your children and my kids as well. I'm a parent of 3. I have two children going into university this year. But by the time they graduate, let's say in 2020, and that's about right, 35% of what they have learned will be obsoleted, and they will have to renew their learning again. This is going to be the way of life for them. The question is, what are we doing to help them prepare and help them cope with this kind of change? You will see there the kind of industries that will also be disrupted and what is the average rate of disruption and the countries that will be going through this disruption. As you can see, India is going to be changing much more rapidly than many other countries. I had disruption and I said or innovation. But I think the point I want to bring to you is that it need not be this or that. You have to embrace both disruption and innovation because India is actually primed for it. The amount of investment shifting from on-premise infrastructure into the cloud is changing at a rapid rate. This is a chart that I took from Gartner from a report in July 2016, and it says the IT spending is steadily shifting from traditional to the cloud, and the aggregate amount is in the billions, 100 of billions, $111 billion. And this will continue to increase till 216 billion by 2020. And that's not far away. That's within 3 years to 5 years. And we need to watch that. I work for Amazon Web Services. Whether you like it or not, we unfortunately are fielding this growth in the cloud. As an organization, we are growing at an average between 47%, in our last quarter, year on year. We are a $12 billion run rate company. We have 16 physical locations in all over the world. And we are still running this particular race at a very, very rapid pace. We probably hire the most number of cloud employees with cloud skills in the world, but there are many more organizations that are also doing that. And so we can tell how many people really need to have cloud skills in the coming years. This is a chart that talks about what are the jobs or the number of jobs available that requires cloud skills globally. 18 million is the number today. Now, if you look at India there, it says 2.2 million. I don't believe that number is accurate. I think India is a lot higher. In fact, much higher than the US. This report may not have captured all the demographics that we hope to, but I believe India has huge amount of potentials here. But we can't fill that demand. Well, we have all the people, but we can't hire enough with the right skill sets. All right? Now, McKinsey says the education system is broken. I wouldn't say to that extent. I think this is a statement meant to shock people and shock the educators. But there's something that needed to be done. All right? It is not business as usual. There is now a burning platform for you to rethink. Do you embrace disruption? Or do you embrace innovation? Or do you embrace both disruption and innovation? This requires collaboration between government, industry, and the education sector. Not one stakeholder can do this by themselves, and we need a partnership going on. What is going to be our priority moving forward? On the learning side, you realize that your pedagogy is changing rapidly. Right? When did we start hearing the word social learning? It's not too long ago. Blended learning, how many of us actually embrace blended learning? I was a teacher and a lecturer before. I moved my students from a tutorial room into a computer lab because I wanted to teach them using IT, because I believe IT can impact them. The massively open courses are taking the world by storm. Mobile learning, right? How many of us here have smartphones or tablets that now we can learn on the go? Learn anywhere you want. These are things that is happening, and the pedagogy is changing very rapidly. Let's not talk about flipped classroom as well. So these are things that you need to embrace. These are the innovation that's coming, but it's also disrupting how you get things done. This is a chart that I took from the World Economic Forum on inclusive growth. And what I wanted to show you is that if you look at pillar 1 and 2, it talks about education. It talks about skills development. It talks about digital infrastructure, which are basic in order to achieve what we want to do. If we don't get that right, the rest is moot. And so we need to think hard, think straight about what we're going to do about it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to shift gear and say, here are some resources and tools that you can leverage as an educator, as an institution, for your students. I'm going to talk about a program that we have called AWS Educate. This program is free to join, no cost. You will get benefits, and the benefits are as follows. First, you get content contributed by Amazon Web Services, online content, right? That is the only way that we can scale and to reach out to as many as possible. If we want to try to reach 18 million employable people to fill the jobs, we can't do that the normal way. We have to do that a very different way, and online is the only way that we're going to do that. That's the first thing. The second benefit that you get out is we've also collaborated with some of the top computer science schools in the world to contribute content inside here. And it's free for you to download. And we got the agreement, and you can use them. Build your courses around what they have done, and if you think you have done something unique, contribute back to this community. And because it is a community, there's a portal. That's the next benefit. You can collaborate with other educators. Even your students who are part of the program can collaborate with the other educators as well. The next benefit, however, is going to be very important. And that is, we're going to give every registered educator and student credits, cloud credits, to each one who are registered to use the most robust and most well-used cloud services in the world to do your projects, to run your programs, to run your initiatives. This program is strictly for teaching and learning only. It's to help you transform, I'm going to use that word, your teaching and the learning of your student. But if we stop there, then we're not doing what we're supposed to do for this program. And so we have done and included jobs as well. But to get to the jobs, we need two things. Number one, we want the students to go into this service to profile themselves and to select possible job roles that they are interested in. And once they have selected these job roles, we will then already have sequenced certain learning content and assign them to the students so they can actually learn using the service in the portal. Along the way, as they learn, they will be able to take assessment, and step by step, if they accumulate enough good results, they will be able to get badging. And so there's a recognition process to encourage and to motivate the students. With that, we also want to include our partners who will then contribute opportunities in this job situation. We want them to contribute internships, real positions, hire the students that they can see from this portal. And we allow the students to see what are the jobs that fit into those job types. And so we're really closing the loop of all these things, making sure that you have the right resource to practice in a real world environment, world class, content, community, a learning sequence, and then the jobs. And that's what this program will provide. This is just a list of some of the universities that have worked with us and contributed. We now have, this number is actually way obsolete already. Almost doubled the number of institutions that have already joined us. And we want you to be part of this journey. What else are institutions using Amazon Web Services for? Many different things. From hosting websites, to running your learning management system, or even your HR, finance, student information system. Or maybe you want to do projects that has to do with scientific computing, research projects. This is just a list of 3 universities that have what we call all-in, meaning they've stopped building data centers. They've shut down their data centers. They've moved all the entire infrastructure actually into Amazon Web Services. So we are now running their entire infrastructure. right? So you have Arizona, Notre Dame, and Harvard who have actually gone all in, okay? I just put in there so that it gives you an idea of what is possible for you to actually create innovation in your own organization. So we're here to change the world, but we cannot do this alone. We do this together with you, with the industry, with the education sector, as well as with the government. So join us in AWS Educate. This is where you go to sign up. It's awseducate.com. Everything, the sign-up process is online. But what I'm doing is I've also left my name on this chart here. You can, if you have a pen, paper, whatever, scribble it down, write to me. I'm okay if there are 1,000 emails that come to my mailbox after today. I'm perfectly all right with that. You just take me hours to clear it. But I'll rather see you benefit from the program than not being able to allow you to know that this information and this resource is available to you. So with that, I want to thank you.
Your knowledge should destroy ignorance. But if knowledge is not destroying ignorance, and if knowledge is protecting ignorance, that is not knowledge.
3% of India is Tamil. You know that? I mean, I did the research. 3% of India is Indian population, and 3% of that 3% is Tamil Brahmin. And so they are like, they consider themselves very, very pure. They think like they're like pure ghee, like they are.
நம்ம எந்த ப்ராபபிலிட்டியில் ஒரு காலேஜை மார்க்கெட் பண்ணுறோன்னா, ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் வந்து பயங்கர ஸ்ட்ரிக்டாக வச்சுக்கிட்டு அவங்களுக்கு பிடிக்காத நிறைய விஷயங்கள் பண்ணிவிட்டு, வேறஸ் வெளியில் போகும்போது நான் லேப்டாப் தரேன், நான் வந்து மார்க்கெட்டிங் பண்ணுறேன், காலேஜுக்கு பிராண்டிங் பண்ணுறேன் அப்படின்னா, எங்கேருந்து பிராண்டிங் வரும்? படிக்கிற 2000 பேரும் ஸ்கூலில் வெளியில் போயிட்டு தப்பாக பேசினாங்கன்னா